Matt,
Craig,
there's a snowman on my mug.
and that can only mean one thing.
I'm drinking coffee.
It's Topic Town.
It doesn't mean either of those things.
No, it doesn't.
Well, actually, I'm drinking coffee is probably most likely what it means. But Christmas time's coming up.
Yep.
Or the holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, if you celebrate one.
We're gonna talk about a specific aspect of Christmas.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, because somebody said, Josh Verkley said that I look like a young Santa before his beard got white. And it's good to know that
I could see that.
I have some options when I become of retirement age.
When you get cold, you get rosy cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's adorable. It's adorable.
I'll be able to be the next Santa once he retires.
Really?
Pass the baton. I'll fly around.
Are you doing that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like it's good to have the option, anyways.
Did someone approach you about this? Do you have a job lined up?
No, I mean I've been sending headshots out there.
Okay.
But, Anyway, do I really look like a young Santa? What did Santa look like when he was young?
Yeah. But we do know he exists because we proved it in last Christmas's Topic Town.
Yeah, Santa is real.
Santa's real. We proved it.
Yeah.
A year ago. Go back into the archives of Topic Town.
Who is this guy? Who is Santa really?
It's Kris Kringle.
Well, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking into this. Who is Santa? Where did he come from? Who does he think he is?
Yeah, that's a bigger question.
Santa Claus is descended from Saint Nicholas. He's Saint Nick. That's something that this is going to be a very U.S.-centered version of Santa Claus because the traditions of this holiday season are all over the place, all over the world.
And we are from the U.S. and we only speak U.S.
Yeah,
so
we're U.S.ians.
We can't read other languages like British.
No.
Or
Australian.
Canadian. Okay.
So Saint Nicholas was a saint. He was a person who was really generous. Like
Maybe stop hitting the table so much.
He was known for
I don't know if that's affecting the audio.
Giving gifts to people and doing just lots of good stuff. And after he died, and people would celebrate him. He would be the guy who would be bringing presents, Saint Nick and all that. The Martin Luther didn't like this. He was the guy who did the Protestant Reformation. He didn't like that because they shouldn't be worshiping this dude. They should be worshiping God. And so they got rid of Saint Nick, and they actually replaced him with the Christkind, which was supposed to be like this baby, kind of representing like baby Jesus, and the baby would bring gifts. Well, it sort of evolved into the baby bringing the gifts, and I think the baby sort of eventually this evolved into Kris Kringle.
If a baby were coming to deliver gifts to me, I would be creeped out. I wouldn't take those gifts.
It was more like a Cupid baby, It was like it had angel wings, and it would come.
That's even more creepy. A baby with wings. Oh my god. Flying around like
maybe that's why it didn't last.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like the New Year's baby now more, but it was called the Christkindl, which became Kris Kringle, which that name was adopted for Santa Claus as well. So Santa Claus is come from all over the place. But one thing that he definitely is from my research that I've found out, he is Odin, the Norse god Odin, Viking god Odin.
He's definitely that.
He's Odin in disguise.
How do you know this?
Well, let's look at the similarities.
Okay.
So, as we know, I think we've heard this sort of common knowledge that Christmas is made up of all these sort of pagan rituals. The whole celebrating in around the solstice and in the winter is a pagan ritual. And one of the most famous things is the Yuletide, which is it's a part of Christmas. That's a sort of a Norse tradition.
What is the Yuletide?
Well, it's time in this celebration where back in the day Odin would fly around on his flying horse with 8 legs, and he'd go on a wild hunt, and it was basically a party time. And
wait, so Odin had 8 legs?
No, the horse did.
Okay.
His horse, he had a flying horse.
Seeing a guy on a flying horse with 8 legs to me is less creepy than seeing a baby fly around with wings and gifts.
But you see how this similar to Santa Claus, he's flying around on an animal with 8 legs. Well, Santa is flying around with 8 reindeer.
Yeah.
Interesting. They both come from very cold places. Odin's from northern Europe.
Yeah.
And Santa's from the North Pole, and they're basically the same kind of place.
Mm-hmm. Is this your own theory? Or is
no. This is something I got from the internet.
Oh, so then it's true. Okay.
And Odin, we can talk about what he looks like a bit. He's a bearded dude.
I like him.
He's actually Gandalf is based on Odin. So
I like Gandalf.
He's like this big bearded dude. Like, well, he's kind of skinny. Mm-hmm. But he's like a wanderer, and he's also he also commands elves. Yeah, he doesn't make
just
elves.
Like Gandalf, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make the elves make toys or anything like that. They like go and battle other things.
Mm-hmm.
And Viking children would leave out snacks for Odin's horse.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually be like some like straw or maybe some sugary type stuff, just like we leave out milk and cookies for Santa,
right?
And so like in the way Santa was pictured basically before the 20th century, he was a skinny dude who with a big beard, and
mm-hmm.
he was kind of dressed all. He didn't really have a particular way he dressed, but he looked a lot like the way Gandalf or Odin would look.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like Coca-Cola came along.
That's what I heard.
And gave him like the sort of the red suit.
Now is that 100% true? Because I've heard that's true, but then I think I've heard it's a myth that Coca-Cola gave him the redness.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was changing around that time because
mm-hmm.
In the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas thing, there's a description of him there being like he's got red cheeks and he's jolly and fat. I don't think it ever describes the red suit or anything like that, but he's described as like a fat guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think Coke was the first person to do it because it shows up in that poem. So like it wasn't like Coke like made.
I mean, they couldn't have because Santa decided himself that he was going to wear red.
Yeah, but the Santa, the description of Santa. Came
I don't see him caving to marketing. I don't see it.
No. Santa, he's an independent contractor,
mm-hmm.
And a force to be reckoned with.
I guess so.
But the whole Coca-Cola thing, I think, is that because they marketed him. Mm-hmm. Without his permission.
I guess it must have been. Unless one of his elves sold out or something.
That image of him it became really widespread. But like because before then it was like there was a ton of different kinds of images of him, and Coca-Cola like really sort of narrowed it down.
Mm-hmm.
But he's Odin. He's been Odin the whole time.
Are you sure?
I am sure of it.
100%.
I'm 100% sure Santa is Odin.
Well. And if I've learned anything from digging into history about what's actually happened, you can always be 100% sure. About science, about myths, about anything. Yeah. It's always 100%. It does sound plausible. Sounds likely. I'm sure he had influences were taken from other places.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's the main thing to take away from this. Is that like Christmas and all of that, it comes from a whole bunch of different places. It's... there's a lot of pagan influence. There's a lot of different types of Christian lines of thoughts, and there's just this tendency for cultures who especially that live in like cold places where it gets dark in the winter to want to have a party in the middle of the winter because there's nothing to do. So they're like
we have to make up reasons to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we make up Santa Claus. No, I mean we don't make up Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is a part of it. He was one of the guys to really start it.
Yeah, well, good for him. But he
probably came up with the idea.
But then again, he can't possibly get to every household in one night. So we have to sometimes exaggerate a little bit.
Well,
or does he get to every household?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's Odin. He's a Norse god who can defeat ice giants and the world serpent. Mm-hmm. I think he can probably get to everybody's house in a night.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's Gandalf.
I have my doubts, Matt. I have my doubts.
Do you think Gandalf couldn't do it?
Gandalf? even Gandalf couldn't make it to every house. Can he? Does he have a spell that he can just split himself into thousands, millions of Gandalfs?
Probably, yeah.
Well, maybe then. And fitting down a chimney. What about fitting down a chimney?
Oh well, he could fit down a chimney if he wanted to. He could like shrink himself down and then get bigger. Or he just design a chimney.
Have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen Santa Claus?
No.
Have you ever seen Santa Claus? Let us know in the comments.
Not the real Santa Claus, not Odin.
No. Anyway, well, I hope you feel enlightened and you've learned something, and you are in the holiday spirit. Yeah. Or if you don't want to be in the holiday spirit, I hope we've made you yell "Bah humbug" multiple times.
Yeah, and if you're planning on leaving out milk and cookies for Santa, maybe you should think again and leave out some straw for his 8-legged horse. Mm-hmm. Maybe some mead.
A sugar or a salt lick. A salt lick would be good.
And I bet Odin wants some mead.
Some mead would be good.
A battle axe.
Mm-hmm. Grab your battle axe, kids. Yeah. We are looking for questions. We're trying to answer more questions at the end of these things.
Yeah.
We don't
or address comments.
Comments, and you can leave them right down there in the comments of this video, or you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/thegoodstuffshow, or our Twitter. You could @reply us if you are one who @replies. Twitter.com/goodstuffshow. Correct, and then. We also have a subreddit, which is new, and very little is going on there right now. But you could start it up. You could start up a conversation.
Make it happen.
The subreddit is called, it's called The Good Stuff Show, right? Let me make sure. It's called, because we have some that are Good Stuff Show, The Good Stuff, because the Good Stuff is taken a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The Good Stuff Show. Yeah.
Kenny Chesney.
r/The Good Stuff Show over on Reddit, and start a discussion there. Ask us questions. We are all knowing, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I think that's all. Mm-hmm. Happy holidays.
Yes.
And watch out for Odin.
Yeah. Keep your eye out.
Yeah. Bye.